Hello, this is Bishop David Ricken of the Diocese of Green Bay. The Clerical Association of Mary, Mother of the Church is an approved association of diocesan parish priests who make a commitment to foster growth in their spiritual life by supporting one another through a daily prayer structure, a monthly recollection day, and an annual retreat. Inspired by lay foundress Dr. Carol Masuga, the priests enjoy the benefits of an emphasis on their spiritual journey and ministry. I gave it official approval on October 9, 2011, and placed it under the protection of Our Lady at the Shrine of Our Lady of Good Help in Champion, Wisconsin, home of the only officially approved apparition site in the United States.
The inspiration for the associations, which are under the umbrella name Animarum Salus, would occur during the Holy Sacrifice of the Mass and during silent time before the Blessed Sacrament. I would disclose these inspirations to my spiritual director, who has a gift of discernment, and he would confirm that they were from the Holy Spirit and encourage me to follow them. The ministry began while I was caring for my elderly mother. It all happened because of her redemptive suffering. For 7 years, she united her prayers and sacrifices daily to the sufferings of Jesus for the ministry. The associations were always placed under the authority of the Church. The private association began under the authority of Bishop Alexander Sample, who was the bishop of the Diocese of Marquette. When Bishop Sample was appointed as the Archbishop of Portland, Oregon, I asked that the association be placed under the authority of Bishop David Ricken, since the Clerical Association is under his authority as well. There are many members of the private association throughout the United States, and through the intercession of our Blessed Mother, a new chapter of the Clerical Association will be established in the Diocese of Marquette under the authority of Bishop John Durfler.
I think together with my brother priests in the association, we learn from each other. We share pastoral experiences that we can learn from each other, and really just enjoy our priesthood and a dedicated time each month.
I had heard about this clerical association from a brother priest in the diocese, and I began to learn about it and what it entailed.
We have a retreat once a year, which is truly a delight and a time of prayer and deepening our faith, recommitting our vocation.
Two things about it struck me that led me to further inquire. One was the component, the pillar, you could say, of brotherly support, of fraternity, of praying together and helping each other grow in our personal relationship with Jesus.
The Lectio Divina, how that is I've taken a bigger part in my life and my ministry as far as preparing homilies, just that deeper commitment to the time that's needed, and kind of waiting for that inspiration of the Holy Spirit to speak to my congregation, through my words.
The second aspect was that it wasn't simply for themselves, but that it was in order to bring about a greater good, namely what our faith is all about, of evangelizing, of bringing the love of God, bringing the gospel into the world. And in a very particular way, this clerical association sought to do that through a need that I felt was very important in the world today. And that is through a special attention to the elderly, the sick, and the dying.
The private association is an association of prayer for the laity called Friends of Jesus Christ High Priest. They pray daily for their own priest and pastor and the members of the clerical association, as well as provide spiritual care for the elderly, sick, and dying. This association of the laity, which presently has over 1,100 members, was approved on the feast day of the Queenship of Mary on August 22, 2014, at the Shrine of Our Lady of Good Help.
I'm 89 years old, and the reason I come here is because, I was very active all my life, and I expected that I would keep on being active. It was my idea, and what I thought would happen until God pulled the curtain down on me. But that was not God's plan for me. And what happened was that I spent the last several years in and out of hospitals, in and out of rehab and everything else until I've ended up, so I'm pretty much homebound.
For many years, my husband and I were away from the church. It was at least 12 years. We had joined a non-denominational church, actually a few different churches. And it was actually suffering that brought us, in large part, brought us back to the church.
What we're suffering right now, God's will for us right now is to suffer. And what we can do with that suffering is turn it into a ministry of God. Because to join our suffering with Jesus' suffering, if He will only let us, is suffering on the cross.
So the association really would be providing a framework, it's actually a very gentle rule of prayer practices that were manageable, but that would also give us a focus for our prayer time as a family, and also a focus for using our sufferings, which everybody has. Ours has this particular flavor to it, but also a way to pray for priests, because they were already asking for our prayers anyway, so it kind of made sense.
When you wake up in the morning, dedicate your life and your sufferings and your in and out of the hospitals and your pains and your aches to Jesus, for the world. And that was all. There's no duties, there's nothing to do, there's no dues to pay or meetings to go to, no hoops to jump through either. So that appealed to me a lot.
If the Holy Spirit prompts you to give, either spiritually and or financially, to this sacred work, any support would be greatly appreciated. Please know that you will always be remembered in the prayers and the sacrifices of the members of the associations of Animarum Salus.
I am very proud of both of these ministries and encourage your prayer and your support in whatever way possible. Thank you very much, and God bless you.